harsh. Oh, I hate that. Okay, I think I got it. I feel like I'm yapping. Restart. Alright, let's talk about all the books I read in August, shall we? So I actually just lied to your face because we're actually going to be talking about all the books that I've read so far this year. I missed the memo back at the start of June that we were doing a mid-year reading wrap-up. I saw it all over the internet, but at the time I was like, I'm going to stick with my van build videos, my van build vlogs, van life vlogs, whatever. So now I decided that the month of August is when I wanted to do my mid-year wrap-up. So I'm tricking you guys and I'm calling it my August wrap-up because no one's going to watch a mid-year wrap-up a month later. So these are all the books that I've read so far this year. I've definitely read a lot less than I have in past years, but I've also been busier doing other things. Let's go all the way back to the start of the year when I had my trip to San Diego with my friends. It's now our yearly trip. This year was our second year going. And of course, every trip I go on, I probably bring 5 books, no matter the length. And I usually probably end up reading about 1, maybe less. Anyway, on my trip to San Diego, I read Daisy Hates the Great Undoing. I love Magnolia Parks, the series, the Magnolia Parks universe, all of that. And so I was very excited to get reading on this second Daisy Hates book. To be honest, I think I prefer the Magnolia Parks books over the Daisy Hates books, but I still rated this book 5 stars. I loved it. I read it so fast. It was so good. I love seeing more of Julian in this book. It was amazing. I liked both of the second books in the series much more than the first books. So The Long Way Home I liked much better than the first Magnolia Parks book, and The Great Undoing I liked way more than the first Daisy Hates book. So I think this series is just getting better and better with each book that she writes. I think it's amazing. I love Jessa Hastings' writing. It's so beautiful. Loved this book. 5 stars. Then I picked up this brick of a book, Redeeming 6. So I'm going to be honest with you guys. I rated Saving 6 3 stars. I felt like Saving 6, not Redeeming 6, was kind of repetitive, and you could have probably taken out about like 200 pages worth of writing out of like the 600, and the book would have had a very similar, if not the same impact, at least in my point of view. I just felt like that book kept getting really, really repetitive, and I was really, really excited for Joey and Aoife's story, but that book was kind of boring and repetitive to me. I didn't think it was bad. I just felt like we weren't really going anywhere. And so when I finally picked this book back up, I was like, I better love this book because, again, like I said, before I started Joey and Aoife's story, I was so excited to read about them. So I was really sad that I didn't like their first book. But I rated their second book a 5 out of 5 stars. This one was so good. This one was even longer than Saving 6. This is amazing. It is so good. It was worth like continuing on. I was like, am I going to just put off reading the rest of this book, the rest of the series forever, because I kind of got turned away from Saving 6. Again, it wasn't awful, just kind of boring and repetitive, at least in my opinion. But this book was amazing. So good. I read this in like 3 days, and this is a thick book. It's still got the tiny little writing, and it's almost 800 pages. But I rated it a 5 out of 5 stars. It was so good. Plus, I was really determined to finish this before Taming 7 came out. And so I was reading this in like March, and so I was more motivated to finish it. Then I read The Deal, which I thought I read the physical book of this, but I must have read it on Kindle or like borrowed it from Libby or something, because I don't have the book and I can't find it anywhere. But I'm convinced I read it paperback, and I rated it a 4 out of 5 stars. A theme you're gonna see is most of the books I've read this year are 4 out of 5 stars. That does not mean they're bad in any way. 3 out of 5 stars is like an average book. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't anything special. So 4 out of 5 stars is still a really good rating. It just didn't have that 5-star feeling to it. I thought it was really good, and I've also heard it's like the best book of the entire series, so I haven't continued on, but I did really enjoy the book and I thought it was very good. I might try to read like the next book on Kindle or something. It was a nice quick one. I wanted something easier to read. It was a good like college sports romance, nice and simple and everything. I thought it was really good. Then I read The Bitterroot Inn by Devoney Perry. I've been trying to read all of her other books that she has. I started with The Edens, and then I went on to the Jameson Valley series, which is this one. And this is the last book technically in the series. There's also a novella, but I'm counting this series as finished. And again, another 4 out of 5 star book. It was really good. It was a nice, easy read. What I like about Devoney Perry's books is that the couples, first of all, get together very early on in the book. At least it's sooner than 50%. And then there's always like a subplot, and like second half of the book is more focused on like a mystery, on like a little thriller aspect, like a suspense aspect. There's like always something else going on in the books, and I really enjoy that because then you get to see the couple together and you get to see them like solve a mystery, or like something happens and they have to figure something out, and there's like a hint of suspense and stuff. So I really enjoy that aspect because so many books, because I read a lot of romance books along with fantasy books, so many romance books, the couple will get together and you'll see like 5 pages worth of them actually together. But I love seeing, I could just read an entire book of just like a couple together and then them going through life and going through other things but together, versus a whole book of them like falling in love or whatever, and then like they get together with 5 pages left and you never actually see them together as a couple. So that's one thing I really love about Devoney Perry's books. And they're always my go-to if I'm in a slump, because I know they're a nice, easy read. I know the couple's going to get together early on, and I know there's going to be a second half plot of like mystery or suspense or something like that going on. So yeah, I always love a good Devoney Perry book. Then I read one of my most anticipated reads of the year, which is Taming 7. And I know there's actually mixed reviews on this book. It was like a split. Some people absolutely loved it, and some people were really disappointed with the book. I personally rated it a 4 out of 5 stars. I was so excited for this book, and I did think it was going to be my favorite in the series. And 4 out of 5 stars is still an amazing book. It didn't give me that 5-star feeling, but I still loved it so much. Just not knowing all of this was going on with the other books is like insane. And I was so excited for Claren Gibbs's book, and it did not disappoint, at least for me. So yeah, rated it 4 out of 5 stars. I am so interested in seeing where the rest of the series takes us, especially with the whole friend group and everything. No spoilers, but if you've read it, you know what I mean. So yes, I'm so excited for more books from her. I did hear I saw something, I think it was on TikTok, and I saw it multiple different times that she wasn't excited about writing the rest of the series, and so she might not. Is that just like a rumor that someone like made up and everyone just rolled with it, or is that like actually true? Because I need to see the rest of the series. Like, I'm so interested in what happens. I'm so invested in all these people, all these characters, this whole friend group and everything. I need her to write the rest of the series, and I'm really hoping that's just like a fake like rumor going around, because I need her to finish The Boys of Tommen. Then I read Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. I got it from the library first, made it through 50%, and then I had to return it, and then I read the rest on Libby, and I rated it, let's see, I rated it a 3 out of 5 stars. I was actually really excited for this book because I know Sarah really loves this book so much. I think she likes it better than Fourth Wing. Bold opinion. I rated it a 3 out of 5 stars, and I'm probably never going to read the second book in the duology. I felt like it was just so simple. And I felt like, I don't know, I didn't feel like there was a whole lot going on. I felt like it was very simple and, again, kind of dragged out. And I heard in the second book there's like not even barely a subplot of romance in it, and that is what was getting me through the first book. And so I'm not really invested in like the magic system and like the government and all of that stuff. And so I probably won't ever read the second book in this series. I might on a whim listen to it like on audiobook or something, but there's a good chance I won't be finishing this series. Again, 3 out of 5 stars isn't bad. It just wasn't amazing either. And I was really sad because I really wanted to like it because Sarah loves this series. But I just didn't. Next, I read Powerless by Lauren Roberts. This book has been on my radar for forever, and I only just read it this summer, and I can't believe I didn't read it sooner. This book is so good. I rated it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Again, just not that 5-star feeling exactly, but it was so amazing, so good. I read this book in like 2 days. It was amazing. I love a good enemies to lovers. I love the fantasy. I love the trials and all of that. So good. And then I immediately went out and bought Powerful, the novella, and I actually mostly listened to this on audiobook because I wanted to finish it before Reckless came out. And so I was like, I will be able to listen faster than I'm able to read it. So I mostly listened to this on audiobook, and I thought the audiobook was actually really good. And it made me want to listen to the audiobook for Powerless and Reckless. I just haven't done that yet because I heard the audiobooks are amazing for those, and like the person who voices Kai is Kai to a T. So I think maybe if I do a reread, I'll actually listen instead of actually rereading it. But I rated this a 4 out of 5. I thought it was a really good novella, but novellas are just so short. It's hard for me to rate them, again, because they are so short. But I did think it was a really, really good novella. And then I went out on release day and immediately bought Reckless. This is actually the Books A Million version, so it's pink instead of red. And I actually love it. I think it looks so good with the purple in both of these. And I prefer it over the red version. But yes, gorgeous. I rated this a 5 out of 5 stars. This one I liked even more than the first two, or I guess the first book and the novella. I thought it was amazing. I really, really loved just seeing them together for the whole book. I loved seeing them going on a little journey together. And I know some people are like, oh, it was kind of boring. But you can just tell it is such a big setup for the third book. And the ending, I was in shock. I was shocked. Now, I didn't get fully spoiled, but I did see on TikTok that the ending had a major plot twist. So I knew something was coming. But the plot twist and the ending is insane. And I can't wait until April. I can't wait until April for the third book. But I did hear she is going to do another novella. So hopefully that will tide me over in the meantime. But yeah, 5 out of 5 stars. Again, some people said it was kind of boring. There wasn't much going on. But I love just seeing the two just hanging out, basically. And I loved it. The banter, everything. It was perfect. So the last 3 books that I've read so far this year are all from Kindle Unlimited, so I don't have the physical book with me. But the first one I read was The Upside of Falling, and I've seen this for probably 3 or 4 years now, that it's like a good YA romance, and I rated it 3 out of 5 stars. I felt like it was definitely a YA romance, and sometimes those hit differently and they're really good, and other times it's yeah, this is a YA romance and it kind of falls flat, at least for me personally. I didn't think it was bad, again, and it had a really good subplot going on, but it didn't give much. It was a shorter read too. I think there was less than 300 pages in this book, so it didn't really I didn't really connect with the characters too much or anything. So 3 out of 5 stars. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't amazing. Then I read Coach by Devney Perry. these last 3 books, you'll kind of see that I've been in the mood for sports romances. And so I knew Devoney Perry had her new series. I think it's the Treasures State Wildcats or something. And they're sports romances. So I knew a good Devoney Perry book is what I needed. I knew she wouldn't disappoint. I'm going to be honest, I think almost all of her books I've rated 4 stars. I think Indigo Ridge and Juniper Hill are my 2 5-stars from her, but I'm never disappointed from a Devoney Perry book. 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was really good. Again, really easy to get through, but still really good, and I feel like you're able to connect to the characters really well in a short amount of time. And finally, the last book that I finished so far this year is The Right Move by Liz Tomford. I rated this book 4 out of 5 stars. Again, it was a really good book, but just not 5 stars. It's a theme so far this year. I have, 3 5-stars. I have 3 5-stars so far this year. I can't complain. But yeah, it was a 4-star read for me. I actually never read the first book. I've seen mainly Destiny and Sarah, but I've also seen just kind of on the internet in multiple places that basically the overall consensus is book 1 is not that good. I think both Sarah and Destiny DNF'd the first book, and then they gave the second book a try and they really liked it. And so I was like, I'm not even going to bother with the first book because it's an interconnected standalone series. So I was like, I don't need to bother with the first book. If they didn't think it was that good, they didn't like the main male character, like, I'm good, I'll pass. But I was really interested in reading the series before they read it, and I'm glad they also gave it a second try because The Right Move was really, really good. It's what I needed. I wanted a sports romance. I thought it was amazing, and I just thought it was such like a really good read. So yeah, I recommend if you haven't read the first book in the series, I forget what it's even called, but I recommend if either you've read the first book in the series and didn't like it, or you're kind of thinking about reading the series, read the second book. Read the second book. It is so good. I'm going to continue this series, and I feel like I've seen that they also liked the rest of the books. So yeah, I'm going to be reading the rest of the series. I'm not going to read the first book. I'm not going to bother, but yeah. So I hope I haven't been rambling too much, but I appreciate you guys watching today's video. I know I don't do these videos all that often, but if you would like to see more, let me know. Comment down below if you want to see more book-related videos and stuff like that. And yeah, I'll definitely be doing an end-of-year wrap-up, all that stuff. But again, I'm only reading a few books every month, so I don't really do monthly wrap-ups because those would be pretty boring. But yeah, anyway, I appreciate you guys sticking around, watching today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe for more. I also have a van that I travel in and I'm currently converting out. So go check out those videos as well. Those are mainly what I post. But yeah, I hope to see you guys more, and thank you for watching. Bye guys.